Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 coming to you this Friday afternoon, May 29th. We're looking at the last couple of days of the market profile of the SPY ETF here on Window Trader. And once again, a bizarre finish to a bizarre week. And more incredibly, the last 2 weeks have been mirror images of each other. Last week, the SPY was up $9.16. This week, it's up $9.05. But more importantly than being up about the same amount, I want to show you something before we get started. Now, this week was obviously only 4 days. Let's real quickly look at this last week. Monday, huge gap up. Tuesday, push down into the gap. Wednesday, try to go higher. Thursday, Friday, sellers try. And then look what happens late on Friday. Look at this week. Now, there wasn't a Monday. Tuesday, huge gap up. Next day, get back into the gap. Hold it, just like the other one. Next day, try to go up. And then today, since there's only 4 days and not 5, they try to push it down only to go out again late in the day with a price probe. And they're continuing to rip higher. I wish I knew it was going to be a mirror image this week, because you could have took a blueprint on that and done pretty damn well if you did that. Again, not easy days to trade this week with a lot of different conflicting information as we went along. Today is no exception. Had a good day today. Didn't even trade that much today. All from the short side. And we'll go over everything in a minute. Let's start first off. The price probe from yesterday was accepted to the downside. That's a rare sight these days. In fact, it was accepted. Well, it doesn't matter afterwards. It was accepted for a good part of the day until after Trump finished speaking, and I guess they liked what they heard. The algos just went wild. And then finally in K period, take out the price probe from yesterday, rip higher in KLM. You see what's going on in N. We go out with a price probe. We go out with a price spike. We had a chance for a trend day down, not once, but twice. We had a chance for a trend day up. That failed. We end 10 wide, which couldn't be raised after K period when it just kept ripping up. Value, though, I am in 6-tick increments, I believe. It shows overlapping the lower. Value was lower on the day. Now, if we had traded another hour or so, I'm sure it would have became overlapping the lower, but it was lower on the day. Volume, 105 million. The majority of that obviously done in this last 3 or 4 time frames. When the algos were going crazy. K period almost traded the entire range at one point. So, very interesting day. The bulls are still, well, I'll show you when we get to the charts and everything, but right now I'm going to say the bulls still have the ball in their court with those gaps below us. They bounced off the 200-day moving average to the T today just about. So let's go over what I did today, and then we'll go over destinations and look at the charts. So again, I only took a couple of trades, but still had a good day. Because like I said, when things are going wild like this, there's no shame in saying, you know what, I'm neutral. I don't want to get destroyed inside of this. Just don't. So A period opened. Again, drove straight down this time. Price probe accepted. It did get back up above, which obviously negated the open and drive. But the volume tapered off, and we did not get back to value low or A's low. I took a nice size short and immediately turned down, came back down to the open and below and took it off. It was a very nice trade. Same thing in C. C period went up. We were one time framing down, took a short, rode it back down. Now, the fun started happening in G period, right? When we had a reversal bar, we ripped down. Ripped back up. Algos are all agitated. So because there was releases of what Trump was going to say. So initially they ripped it down, then took it back up. So in H period, even though this doesn't look like that big of a range, and it wasn't. It was only a 76-cent range. However, it was just getting tremendous chop. So every time H was getting to its high, I shorted it and took it right back. Did that 3 times. Made about between 15 and 20 cents on each scalp of 20 lots each of the puts. So it was a nice trade. And the reason I was doing puts still at that time is because nothing had changed yet. We still had lower value on the day. the price probe was still holding from yesterday. Now, things obviously changed after that. I watched most of this. The one trade I did take was an L period, and it was a short. Still didn't want to go long. Still wasn't, I didn't want to, I wasn't convinced what was going on. Again, price is one thing. Price is an advertisement. Now, it certainly got advertised higher and accepted, but I did take a short play, which worked out nice because the single prints weren't holding. We had singles in K, and then we had a chance for singles again in L. I'm like, I don't think they're going to hold. Took a short play, and it came back in, and that worked out. And then I just watched M period. So, again, it's more than 4 trades because I scalped H 3 times. I actually did A 2 times also versus the price probe. I did that. I did a smaller one after the one I was talking about, which worked out nice, but the first one was a really nice one. So I say 4 trades. It was a little more than that. I kind of call those the same. They're kind of the same trades for me when I do 3 scalps in one time frame. So let's go over destinations and then see the charts because things are changing quickly here. Very interesting. So today's high will be our first upside destination of 304.96. Then yesterday's high of 306.84 is now a monthly high, and that's going to be pretty important when we start looking at the charts. Above that, we don't have anything again until that high of 308.47, which was a daily high, and then 313.10 a daily high. So again, these vacuums and voids in price are still there on the upside, and now you're going to see some on the downside. On the downside, we had a price probe. That's L's high of 304.58, right? Then we have the price spike. Anytime you make a new high in the last 3 time frames and then never come back and seriously test it and get accepted below it, which we never did, that's a price spike. That's A's high of 303.14. Below that, we were 10 wide all the way down to 301.58. Then we have today's low of 299.47. And you want to talk about a mechanical reference point that held to the T today? Wednesday's afternoon pullback low, 299.45. So when they flushed out, and we did 100 shares down here, never even got that, and then ripped up. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was looking. We were talking in the trading room, saying the way it's going, I will fade a new low as long as it's not single prints, right? Because each new low we made, we came back into the day's balance. Even though we had single prints twice they tried and they filled them. Well, lo and behold, by the time I looked up, G had traded down here and was back to here already. So I didn't take the trade. Did I know it was going to go all the way back here? Of course not. So I wasn't going to get caught up in this chop. There was tremendous chop. Even though we finished up here, let's remember a couple of things. Value was lower all day, and look where all the volume was done. It's amazing how they got away from that in the last 3 time frames or 4 time frames. So, again, we have 299.45, afternoon pullback low, and then 296.87, which is now a weekly low, and then fill in the gap at 295.63. Now, let's go to the charts. So the month is done. I tried to fix all these charts. I hope they're right. They look pretty right. So monthly is in balance as we start a new month on Monday. Inside month up, a rousing success, right? Almost $10 to the upside from last month's high. Trend line holding, right? 11-year trend line. So the last 3 months got below it, closed below it in March. Got below it, closed above it in April. Got below it barely, closed above it in May. So that's pretty impressive, right, for the longer term. The reason I think 306.84 is pretty interesting. Now, again, just because we close closer to the high of it doesn't mean, we're going to take it out. But I'll tell you, if you do take out last month's high, I'm going to probably be calling it, one time framing up for 2 months. Right? And then the next destination is that 313.84. So the monthly's still in balance, but we've seen what's gone on out of an inside month before We'll see if it's going to be this road or this road where we came out of it to the downside, failed, and then we still had a lot of balance. That remains to be seen. Right? Here's another one we had. We came out of it to the upside, went a little higher, but then came back down and tested it. That was that 180 bottom forever. Wow. All right, weekly. Great finish for the bulls for a couple of reasons. One time framing up for 2 weeks, right? We're getting distance. That's what we want. We got away from this 3-week balance. Up. Pretty impressive. We're above 302.50. That's another important level you want to stay above. So again, there is nothing stopping the bulls from the next big destination of 313.84. Right? Nothing except themselves. They have this month's high, which is also this week's high, to get over and then take those steps up to 313.84. And then on the daily, 4-day balance. Twice after we got above the 200-day moving average, Tuesday closed below it, Wednesday closed above it. Today we test it, literally bounce and scream off of it to the upside. But the bottom line is we are still in balance, right? So look at the way this 50 is starting to turn up. Very, very important going forward for the bulls. You know, they've had a hell of a run. Now, what I just showed you on the profile, you would never in a million years see the same thing on a daily chart, right? I just showed you the profile and what the days did, how similar they were. You can't see that on here. Yeah, you can see the blocks and this and that, but it's not the same thing as seeing the detail that the market profile shows. It's an awesome thing, and that's what we teach in our trading room, camelbacktrading.org. Yes, we use a lot of traders use different levels and different methods, but for the most part, we all use the profile or are in the process of learning it. I think it's the best tool out there. If you have any interest, come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. The room had a good week, and even at times when we weren't sure, we stayed out of trouble by being neutral. Rather than going to look for a trade, you let the trade come to us, and that's what we did a good part of the week. So come check us out at camelbacktrading.org. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you prior to the opening on Monday.